I decided to go with a slightly different angle for this next one. It's really hard to see him. I'm trying to find something to put behind him so you can actually see, besides all my crafting garbage in the background. But no, it's really hard to see him. He is completely covered in the masking tape. Contractor grade. Do not use plain ordinary. It won't work. It won't stick. But he is completely covered. All the limbs are on. I do not have I don't have roots on him yet. So I just realized that. So I'm going to put roots on him. I will be right back, and we will continue from there. Okay, he now has feet and legs. So next step is to oh my god, I'm senile. Masking tape his feet and legs and put them in the position I want them in to be permanently. And the next step is going to be putting on the joint compound mud. Okay, I'm back. I'm going to show you how to put... Oh, and I just saw a piece. Hold on one second. I just saw a little shiny part sticking out here that I missed completely, where aluminum foil was showing. I'll just go back and put a piece of tape over the top of it. Easy fix. I just saw another one, but I'll get to that later. That's a small one, that shouldn't matter much. But anyway, back to, it's real easy. Real simple. I first start at the base. I get about a 3 to 4 inch piece of masking tape. I don't know whether you can see this, my hand's in the way, but you just kind of fan it around, and then my hand is still in the way. Fan it around and then pull it tight so it covers everything. And then you just mush it down a little bit. Okay, the rest of it. That didn't want to stick for some reason. Oh well. Well, for crying out loud. Then I'll take a 6 to 7 inch piece, slightly angle it, just slightly, otherwise you'll have to go back over it again. And wind it as tightly as you can, pressing down. And then just squeeze it in. It should hold. And one more piece, maybe another 6-inch piece. And this one you can really angle because it's at the end. And you kind of, I just stuck it to the table. There we go. Wind it around. Now, you can either give your end a point or blunt. Either one is fine. I just, in my mood at the moment, is what I decide to do. This one's going to be a little blunt. So I just tucked in one end over the top of it, tip of it, and just wind it around. And we have our roof. Oh, I forgot. I have to put on the face. That's going to go. I can grab this carpet. Show you. This little booger is going to, oh my god. I got the, there we go. It's going to go right about there. I can't show you how it's going to look far away, but maybe I can. Right about there. It's really easy to do. Once you get a face that you know you're going to use, Yep, we're doing that again. Masking tape. You just put it right over the top of the face, very smoothly. We do this so it doesn't, when you go to carve into the face, yes, you're going to carve into your tree. When you carve into it, it doesn't tear as easily. You just cover it up. Cover it up, and you can still see right through it. So when you go to carve, you can see what you're doing. I'm gonna put my face on here. It's gonna be hard to do. Maybe I can angle it a little bit more up. There we go. I'm gonna put them in place where I want it, and then I'm going to, of course, masking tape it where I want it. So I will be back in a little bit after I get that done. And there it is with the face carved out. So once you get done with that, you have to go back and tape up all the open spaces here. Not across them, but where you cut it out. Here. Now, because of doing the face, cutting out the face, and having to reach behind the face, I had to do a little cut, a little surgery, so my hand could completely reach up inside. That's not a big deal. You have to do it a lot. You just go back, tape it all up, and it'll be good as new. But before you put this back together, you need that open because you need to reach inside and put your joint compound mud inside of your tree, or whatever you're making. Now I'm missing, this will work. It's thick. It's really thick, and that's exactly what I wanted. And you just go up inside and paint it all in there. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to have a layer on. Easy way to find out if you've got enough or if you've missed a spot or two is after you're done, or you think you're done, you go back in with a flashlight, and if you don't see a shiny surface, you know you missed a spot. So you can just go back in and redo it. Oh, I'm too far up, okay. It does get a little difficult, but I'm using a very short brush. Once you get in there, as best you can. It doesn't have to be perfect, but if you missed a really big area, you do have to go back in with and get it all taken care of. So when I'm done with that, I will be back. Now that I've got the inside all done, I'm going to turn around and do the entire outside. So I will be back when that is done. I decided no, I'm going to sit here and show you how it's done. This is fairly thick, and if it gets too thick, you just add a little water to it and it'll be perfectly fine. I'm going to start up here. And if you want the recipe, a very precise recipe, to the joint compound mud, you can email me at lockerknockers with an N at yahoo.com. This goes fairly fast, and all you're doing is brushing it on. This gets it This will harden and will take the paint real nicely. But there's a step in between that and painting. We still have to put on the paper towel, the gooey paper towel, I like to call them, because that's pretty much what they are. But I like to put a layer of this on it to harden it first. It's just easier to work with, in my opinion. There are other people that just go ahead and just, slap on. I don't. I want this layer on before I do that. And this is getting a little thick. I might have to add a little water to it. Maybe just a little bit of water. Now all of these, the trees I've been making, are going to be for sale again once I open up my Mercari, our Mercari shop. Had a little mishap. Had to shut down. Nothing major. So we had to do some rearranging with our items. So that now they will be in a different location than the house. Out of the grasp of the animals and everything else. So they will be perfectly safe elsewhere. If you miss tiny little spots, it doesn't matter. Because when you go back over it with the gooey paper towels, that'll hit it. But this will harden very well because it's made with joint compound. I think I need some water in here. I see it's getting a little bit on the tough to spread out side. So I will go get a little bit of water. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, a little bit. Kind of a bit too much water, but it'll be fine. I just need that layer on there. And yes, it will be less wobbly once it gets its wood base. I don't worry too much about things like that if I'm putting it on base anyway. Just slap this stuff on. Takes no time. Well, very little time. And unlike the inside, you don't have to hit every single little nook and cranny. Just give it a basic coat, let it dry. Make sure your tape is secured though. Once it gets underneath there, it's screwed. And yes, I can say that I'm not monetized yet. I'm trying to keep it family friendly. I got a mouth like a sailor, so expect to hear some beeping once in a while. Just bleeping out. Especially if I cut myself like I did earlier and burn myself. And it's just an automatic reaction, no big deal. That's what editing is for. And it's dripping now. Damn. Darn. There goes another bleep. Or editing. Forgot about this. Oh, I forgot about that one too. Stop dripping. You're not that thin. Oh, I guess you are. Easy to clean up. Water. Just water. Cleans this stuff up real nice. Now, normally, when I have a big empty spot in its head, in the top of the tree, I'll borrow out of my, when, put it back in shape, when there's a big open space up here, I usually use Great Stuff and fill it in a little bit. But I had a little episode with Great Stuff a few days ago. and I'm still pulling it out of my hair and my legs. So I'm not going to be using Great Stuff at this time until I can get a new can. It basically, I was filling balloons. I thought I need a nice roundish type thing. Easier way for me to make pumpkins. No, that's not what happened. What happened was, it was already a used can. I thought, oh, it'll still be good. And it was still good. So I put the little straw inside the balloon, shook it up real well, you know, all directions, shook it up really well, and then I hit the sprayer. And it started spraying into my balloon. It started, the balloon's getting a little bit bigger, and then there's this big pop. And Great Stuff went flying everywhere. Apparently there was so much pressure inside that can. Thankfully the can didn't explode, but the straw did, and the top of the little nubby thing that the stuff comes out of just decimated my straw, and I was loaded top to bottom with globs of Great Stuff. I am still trying to work them out of my hands for some of that stuff, because once it gets on your skin, oh, you can remove it with this. You can no, you can't. Fingernail polish remover did not work in any way, shape, or form. The only way to get that stuff off your skin, unless there's some goop out there that I don't know about, and I looked, believe me, I looked everywhere online. The only way to get that off is to let it dry and let it rub off. And it takes days. It literally takes days to get that stuff off your skin. And like I said, I still have some on my skin, but it's getting there. Makes your hands feel like they're really rough, which just drives me up the wall. Can't stand that feeling. Okay, I have most of the upper limbs done. I am getting to that. Oh, missed a spot. Missed a big spot. So I'm going to go back and brush over it. Yeah, it's a little bit thinner than I would like. I added a little bit too much water. But I'm feeling a little lazy today, so I don't want to add more joint compound to it. So it'll thicken up. And this will dry faster. Normally let it sit at least for 2 hours to dry, or in front of the fan before you go to the next step. But this might dry a little faster. It just might. But we're almost done. But going back to my story of the good stuff, or Great Stuff I should say. I wasn't thinking it was so great at that time. But it's my fault. I used an old can that I had used, I don't know, maybe a year ago. And I should have known better. But I took a chance and I lost. But otherwise, that stuff is awesome. Yes, it is for crafting too. It's a little on the expensive side, but a little spray goes a long way. You don't have to use much of it to fill in an area. It expands so nicely. So, note to self, when starting a project, using Great Stuff, make sure it's a brand new can. And there's nothing wrong with the straw. Yeah, it just exploded everywhere. It's all over the porch, it's all over me. It was awesome. It's not. Oh, these are already drying on top. That's just sweet. Now when I get done with the top, I'm going to look to make sure that I got basically every every little surface. Just, like I said, you don't have to get into the nooks and crannies. Just basically get in there. I'm going to pick it up a minute. I can see underneath. Yeah, I see a big spot where I didn't get it. And under here, which isn't that big of a deal, but I just like to cover this before I put on the oh yeah, the goopy, sloppy, very messy paper towels. Swear to God, this thing is growing more branches up. But this is basically all you do. Is throw a little bit of this on it, let it dry, put on the goopy paper towels, which that's the fun part. That's what makes your bark. It's a messy but fun part. And we are almost done with this part. I'm going to let the top dry first before I start on the bottom. So I'm going to finish this up. I'm going to put it in front of a fan. Let this dry up a bit. And then come back and start on the goopy paper towels. I will see you in a little bit. It was brought to my attention that there was a slight problem with one of the legs of the of my little haunted haunted tree. That it the leg that was once here sorry, I was told looked like a certain male appendage, so I had to remove it because they were right. So easiest way to do it is just cut it off. You can fill in the area with with more aluminum foil and put the masking tape over the top, and you won't even know it was there. Oh God. Okay, problem solved. My apparently male haunted tree has had surgery, and now you can't even tell where his little appendage used to be. Well, next step is to take joint compound mud and use 2-ply paper towels. Cheap stuff, cheapest you can get. Doesn't matter if there's a pattern or not. Once you get it wet with the mud, sorry. Once you get it wet with the mud, all these little lines and stuff will disappear, and we will make the tree. It will. Let me try that again. It will make the tree appear to have bark. So that will be in the next video, I hope, if this thing doesn't grow any more appendages.